Hey guys, I'm Nashwa. Welcome back to my channel. And if all goes well, this will be a reading vlog for Jane Austen July. Now, I've decided to participate in this readathon because I see everyone reading Jane Austen. I've been wanting to get into her works for a while. I've had her books for a while, but I've never read many of them except for Persuasion. So I thought that I'd use this month to actually participate along with everyone else and see how it goes for me. So in this reading vlog, I will try to capture my experiences or reactions to the books that I'm reading by Jane Austen. I have pledged to read 3 Jane Austen books in my TBR. So I have Pride and Prejudice, then I have Northanger Abbey, and then I have Emma. Along with this, I will also be reading Unmarriageable, which is a retelling of Pride and Prejudice in Pakistan, and I will be watching the BBC miniseries adaptation for Pride and Prejudice, and hopefully for Emma if I can find it, and I will be watching Lost in Austen. So it seems like it's a lot, but I already started watching the miniseries for Pride and Prejudice because I am about this much into the book, that is about 298 pages, so I have 50 pages left. And I watched the first 2 episodes yesterday because that's how much I'd read. I thought I wouldn't spoil myself, and I'm going to finish this today, so I'm going to watch the rest of the series. I don't know how this vlog will go or how interesting it will be. I'm still self-isolating even though everything in our country is open. We have some time restrictions, but other than that everything is open. But because I work from home and I have no desire to be in the outside world right now, I don't know how I'll make this vlog interesting, so we'll see. But I don't have any work for the rest of the week, and that's because the way my work functions is that I have a lot of work for 3 weeks and then for a week I'm free. So yesterday was Friday and I submitted a big policy paper to my employers, and they were like, we'll give us a week to give you feedback on this. So this week I'm off. Other than replying to emails here and there, I don't have much work, so I will be reading. So yeah, this is the plan, and I'll see you guys soon. So I finished Pride and Prejudice not even 15 minutes ago, and I'm glad that I'm vlogging this experience because now I can talk about it. Dare I say that I finally get it? I get the hype around this book, and it was just a very engaging, fascinating story, especially the last 100 pages. I was completely hooked. So 2 of my friends always have this argument about Mr. Darcy versus Mr. Knightley from Pride and Prejudice and Emma. And I always feel like an idiot because I hadn't read either of these books, so I couldn't really participate in the conversation. But I've definitely heard a lot more about Mr. Darcy than I have of Mr. Knightley. And now, am I Team Darcy now? I don't know yet, but I guess I'll have to read Emma to find out. But I really enjoyed the story. I'm undecided on a Goodreads rating. It's leaning towards a very heavy 4 right now. I like the writing style. Initially, I had to take support from the audiobook and just read it and listen to it side by side, so I get used to the language. And once I was kind of used to it, then I could pick up the book and come easily into it. And simultaneously, I could pick up the audiobook and just get into it. I didn't need the text to support it. So I think for me, that was a really useful way of experiencing the story. I'm going to put this down. But what I liked about this book was, of course, the romance angle, the Elizabeth Bennet versus Mr. Darcy and how it came about, because I feel like this is a story that everybody knows. It's about Mr. Darcy, who's very arrogant, and about Lizzie Bennet, who isn't very rich. And I remember reading an abridged version when I was in 4th grade. I had a skinny little pink edition of Pride and Prejudice, but it wasn't in this much depth. So the things that I liked about this was definitely the family dynamics. Mr. and Mrs. Bennet are ridiculous and hilarious. Mr. Bennet for his dry humor and how much he regards his daughter even in that time. Not his singular daughter, but all his daughters. He keeps calling Lydia and Kitty stupid, which I really thought it was funny. And I really liked towards the end when he finds out the Mr. Darcy's involvement in a certain marriage, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll offer to pay it back, but he'll just talk about his love for you, and then that'll be the end of it. So I thought he was a really dry, funny character. Mrs. Bennet is absolutely hysterical. She is the really over-the-top mom who changes in a second. So I really like that. Mr. Collins, I think we all know Mr. Collins in our lives. We all know that one person, that one really arrogant guy who thinks he's better than every girl that he meets, and he thinks that his presence will somehow improve their life. I feel like I know one too many of them. But his arrogance, the way that he's always thinking that he would be the one who would save Elizabeth, and oh, it would be the biggest regret of her life if she hadn't married him. I really enjoyed his character in a way that he was well written, he was crafted like really well, and the fact that Mr. Bennet got the last word on him in the letter, that was really amazing. So I really liked it. So I'm going to watch the rest of the show and I'll report back to you when I pick up another Austen book. Yet I'm not sure if I want to start with Northanger Abbey or Emma, and I'm also going to listen to Sanditon, which is a 2-hour audiobook and one of the unfinished Austen novels. So I'll catch up with you in a bit. So I have a package to open and an update for you. First, I'll do the update. I am about 45 pages in to Northanger Abbey, which is about a quarter of the way through. And so far, I'm really liking it. Her style is very, very different in this one compared to Pride and Prejudice, because she's a lot more snarky, or maybe I'm getting used to it. I love that I'm picking up on the sarcasm without like reading it over and over again. So I've made like decent progress with this, and please don't mind my really fancy bookmark. I probably own like 50 or 60, but I still like use a piece of paper that I tore off an envelope. For the shows that I've been watching, I finished Pride and Prejudice, the BBC miniseries, and oh my god, it was so good. I loved it so much. Firstly, the casting of that show is absolutely amazing because you have Colin Firth as Mr. Darcy, who's perfect. The actress who plays Elizabeth Bennet is also like really what I imagined for Elizabeth. The only person that I didn't really imagine and how they were on screen was Jane Bennet, because I just imagined her to be different. I imagined a more, I don't know, a different, delicate kind of a character, and she was portrayed by a brilliant actress, but like somehow I didn't feel the connection. I thought Mr. and Mrs. Bennet were captured really well, especially Mrs. Bennet, because her hysterics were just like performed so perfectly by the actress. And the one that I really enjoyed watching was Lydia Bennet, because she's portrayed by Julia Sawalha. And I love Julia Sawalha in Absolutely Fabulous, and I love Absolutely Fabulous in general. Like, it's one of those shows that I've been watching for years, and I always watch it when I'm down. And in that, her role is the complete opposite of how we see Lydia Bennet, who is completely like outrageous, and she's giggling and she's out of control and she's always laughing. And Safi in Ab Fab is a really rigid teenager who always has a problem with her mom partying too much, and she's always like reprimanding her own mother and her best friend for like being out and about all night long. And last night I also watched Lost in Austen, which is a contemporary show about a young girl from modern day London who gets transported to the world of Pride and Prejudice, and she is replaced by Elizabeth Bennet. So Elizabeth Bennet goes to modern day London, and this girl from modern day London goes to the time when Pride and Prejudice was set, and she tries to like get everything fixed up how it's supposed to be, and she just makes a huge mess of it. So after watching the first 2 episodes, I did get a little bored of it, but I continued on watching at night, and I think I got bored of it because I kind of like OD'd on Pride and Prejudice. Like, I overdosed a bit because I've been watching too much of it. So anyway, I have 3 books to show you. The first one is called Abdul Sattar Edhi. It's supposed to be like a work of graphic, like non-fiction, and I was honestly expecting it to be a lot bigger than it is, because I didn't realize at the time when I was ordering this that this was meant for children, but that's okay. Abdul Sattar Edhi built a lot of orphanages around the country, and he took care of a lot of children, so I really wanted some literature on him, and I guess I'll have to look for like another biography. The other 2 books I'm really excited about because they are published by Mongrel Books, and this is a printing press that I recently heard of because I didn't know about it, and it's a small printing press in Pakistan, in Karachi. They basically publish local fiction as far as I know. So this one's called Saints and Charlatans by Sarim Beg. I believe it's a collection of short stories, and since I'm trying to get into more Pakistani fiction, this would be great. And it says for sale in Pakistan only. So here it is. I always like move the books out of the frame too quickly, so I'll leave it in for another second. And the other one is The Light Blue Jumper by Sidra F. Sheikh, and from the description that I read on Goodreads, I believe this is science fiction, and people have compared it to the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Now, I am not a huge sci-fi fan, but I do love the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and I love books like Space Opera by Catherine M. Valente, which is like a weird take on the Hitchhiker's Guide, so that kind of stuff. So I'm really interested in it because I've heard really, really good reviews about this. So that's what I did. I'm going to continue reading Northanger Abbey and report back when I finish it. So I haven't filmed in the last couple of days and I feel like I've forgotten how to talk, especially in a vlog. I had worked the last couple of days, so I did work. And then I went out to the bookstore and decided to show you the Jane Austen section specifically. I always complain that there's not enough bookstores for us to go to, but the one that I go to specifically in Islamabad, it's one of the biggest bookstores we have here. They outdo themselves when it comes to classics, and they have like 15 copies for every classic that you could probably find, especially like the bigger ones like Wuthering Heights, Jane Austen, the bigger classics, you know. So anyway, I went to the bookstore, and if you're wondering if I bought anything, you don't have to wonder for long because I have books to show you. Not surprisingly, they're both Jane Austen related because God forbid I get obsessed with something and I need to know everything that they've written and about their lives. So anyway, the first one is The Watsons, Lady Susan and Sanditon, the collected edition, because I wanted to read Sanditon. So I have it in this, and in my reading update I'll tell you that I ended up reading it. Then I wanted to pick up some non-fiction related to Jane Austen, and the couple of biographies that I saw were big and intimidating, and I feel like I wasn't ready for them yet. So I bought this book. It's called The Jane Austen Treasury, a delightful collection of insights into her life, her times and her novels by Janet Todd. And I feel like this is more readable than a big biography because firstly I love the font and it seems to be in little sections. So I don't know if I want to read this month or if I want to keep it for later time. I guess I'll see how it goes. So now for the reading update. I finished Sanditon. Well, it's the last story in this book, so I didn't read all of it, but like the last 80 pages I read Sanditon, and I finished Northanger Abbey. So I'll talk about Sanditon first because I started reading it yesterday and I finished it today. And it's basically a story about Mr. Parker, who wants people to move to the fishing town called Sanditon so that he can create like a tourist destination, get the money rolling in, and basically try to invite as many rich people as he can to the area. And he is running this business with Lady Denham, who is one of the richest ladies who occupies Sanditon. So in this very short story, we basically get Mr. Parker, who's obsessed with Sanditon and the health benefits being by the sea could provide, and just him trying to lure people to come into this town. We have like Lady Denham, who's extremely self-absorbed and very amusing, and then we have Charlotte Haywood, who is a guest at Sanditon, and she basically reminds me a little of Lizzie Bennet because she has like very sharp observations and she's extroverted and open-minded and looks at everything with a very like astute observation. So this story was incomplete, of course, because it's one of her incomplete novels. It ended abruptly because of Jane Austen's untimely death. But even in this short story, it was pretty entertaining. I really liked the characters and I thought it was generally a very amusing story. I've heard there's a TV show about this, which I will look for and try to watch. And then I started and finished Northanger Abbey. And this is a book that I actually really enjoyed. I gave it 4 stars and I gave Pride and Prejudice 4 stars. But somehow like these 4 stars vary. They're not for the same reasons. And one of the things that I noticed in this book going in was the style was very, very different. Jane Austen sort of steps into the narrative and she is there. She makes her voice feel heard. And the narrator wasn't present in Pride and Prejudice. So this one is different in tone in terms of the writing style. I thought it was a lot more amusing and sarcastic just because of the setting, where we have Catherine Morland, who is reading all these mystery novels, and she thinks she's trapped in a gothic castle and she's trying to solve this big mystery and trying to open like cabinets and things and looking for bigger secrets and coming across like really mundane things. And I honestly found the character of Henry Tilney a lot more interesting than Catherine Morland because he's sarcastic, he's snarky, and he observes the society and makes really comical comments about everything, and I feel like that's something that I really enjoy in a story. For the first 80% of this book, I thought his name was Tinley, and that's how I was reading it because my stupid brain couldn't comprehend that. And when I played the audiobook in the last like 20%, I realized it was Tilney. So anyway, I thought this book was funny, it was sarcastic, it was very, very different from Pride and Prejudice, but I still really enjoyed it. So far Jane Austen July seems to be a success. I read Pride and Prejudice, I read Northanger Abbey, and I read Sanditon. So a few things. Firstly, this is the first time that I'm making any sort of a vlog, so let me know how it was and any feedback that you have, good or bad, and if this is interesting to you at all, because I don't have to keep making these, but I thought it would be fun for me to document this process. So anyway, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.